Welcome to IELTS Academy 9. I'm Yossr, and this is the first episode in the Business English Communication Skills course in which we will learn how to improve our business writing to be professional, concise, and clear. Therefore, watch the video till the end as there will be exercises that will definitely help improve your style to produce professional business writing. Now, let's get started. The first element that you have to consider in your writing is conciseness, which means to be short. So if we read this example, in order to successfully accomplish their job functions, the team has been needing more workspace for some time now. Actually, this is an unsuccessful example of business writing because it's long and complicated. As you can see, we have repeated words like job functions, sometime now. Moreover, grammar itself is complicated. The team has been needing more workspace. But if we rephrase it to the team needs more workspace to do its job, it's easier to read and short and to the point. And this is how you should write in business. You have to be short and to the point because your audience is people who are on the go, people who are busy. They don't have time to analyze your language. They want the message in no time. So whenever you receive any business correspondence, you have to ask yourself these three questions. Do you understand this letter or email or memo? Do you remember what you read? Did you even finish reading it? So if it's easy to understand, it's successful. If you remember everything after you read it for once, it's professional. If you finish reading it, you don't skip or you don't keep reading because it's difficult, it means it's professional. So now we need to learn how to be concise. In order to be concise or short, we have to avoid three mistakes we always make. We have to avoid redundancy, prepositional phrases, and the overuse of the passive voice. To start with redundancy. Redundancy means repetition, repeated words in your sentence. So on the left, you will find wordy sentences that have repeated words, and I'm going to change it to be shorter and more concise. The first example, we collaborated together on the project. Actually, the verb collaborate itself means work together, so no need to use the word together. Simply we say, we collaborated on the project. The second example, this is a brand new innovation. Innovation means new and creative, so no need to use brand new. This is an innovation. And the third example, the other alternative is to eat soup. Alternative itself means another option, so no need to use the word other. You can say the alternative is soup. So whenever you write a sentence, please review it and then delete all the repeated words. Now let's move to the second mistake, which is prepositional phrases. Actually, the word phrase means more than one word and less than a sentence. For example, if you look at the first example here, he drove at a rapid rate. Rate is one word. Rapid rate is a phrase because it has two words, but it's not a complete sentence. A rapid rate is a phrase because it has three words. And we have at. At is a preposition, so at a rapid rate is a prepositional phrase. So it's a long prepositional phrase. We can replace it with only one word. So instead of he drove at a rapid rate, we can use the adverb rapidly. He drove rapidly. I will see you in the near future. Simply, I'll see you soon. Soon replaces in the near future. I'm in receipt of your email message requesting an increase in pay. I received your email message requesting a pay raise. Received, the verb itself replaces the phrase in receipt of. And instead of saying an increase in pay, I can use a pay raise. The third mistake is the overuse of the passive voice. And actually in English we use the passive voice when the subject is unknown or when the object is the focus in my sentence. So if you look at the first example here, it's my decision to run for office. Actually, I'm the one who made the decision, so the subject here is important. I decided to run for office. There are 16 people who tried out for the basketball team. Actually, there are two weak structures that we have to avoid when it comes to formal writing, whether it's business or academic. Simply begin your sentence with the subject. 16 people tried out for the basketball team. The third example here, the computer was purchased by Tom. I already know the subject. Tom purchased the computer. So the bottom line, in order to be concise, you have to avoid these three mistakes. Avoid redundancy, avoid prepositional phrases, and avoid the overuse of the passive voice. Now, let's move to the second element that we should consider in our business writing, which is clarity. Clarity means your message should be clear. So, look at this example. It's a memo, and the memo here states the date, to, from, and the subject line meeting. The content is, please plan to prepare a presentation on sales. Make sure the information is very detailed. Thanks. When I receive something like this, I have some responses, and my responses are some questions on the missing information. When is the meeting? It's not stated at what time. Where is the meeting? The place. Who is the meeting for? Who will be attending the meeting? How much information is very detailed? In what sense it's very detailed? Do you need statistics, surveys, some references, and so on? How will the presentation be made? Whenever there is a task given, there should be instructions. For example, what should be included in the presentation? How long should the presentation take? Why is the meeting being held? There should be a purpose behind the meeting. You have to tell your team that we are meeting for, and state the purpose. Moreover, the memo here doesn't show what the manager wants exactly to know from the presentation. So there should be an outcome, and you have to tell your team what outcome should be there from their presentation. Actually, these questions we ask whenever we receive any business correspondence to check clarity. But if you want to write something, you have to consider these questions that I call reporter's questions checklist. Before you write, ask yourself who is the audience, who will know what, who are the people you are addressing. This is very important because it defines the language you are going to use and the information you are going to include in your writing. What do you plan for? What do you want the audience to do? What do you want to know? The purpose. If you are given a task, tell them why. If you are telling them there will be a meeting, tell them why you will be meeting with them. When should the job be completed? What's the timetable? What's the desired schedule? If there is time, if there is deadline, if there is a timetable, please mention it in your writing. Where will the work take place? The place itself of the project or the meeting. Why is the task being undertaken? Why is the desired date important? Please give reasons. If you give them a task, tell them why they are given this task. If there is a date, tell them why they have to submit on that date. How should the task be performed? What's the preferred procedure? Give them instructions. Tell them how you want them to do the task. So that's all for clarity. Now let's have some exercises to improve our style. The first exercise here, I'll give you some sentences and I want you to try to rephrase them. So please, after each sentence, pause the video and make your own sentence and then compare it to mine. Revise the following long sentences and make them shorter. Number 1. I'll be calling you on May 31st to see if you have any questions at that time. Please pause the video, answer it, and then compare it to mine. My answer is, I will call on May 31st to answer questions. Number 2. The company is in the process of trying to cut the cost of expenditures relating to the waste of unused office supplies. The company is trying to cut costs of unused office supplies. I'm of the opinion that Acme employees have too much work to do. I think Acme employees are overworked. It's the company's plan to take action to avoid problems with hazardous waste. The company plans to avoid hazardous waste problems. On 2 different occasions, the manager of personnel met with at least several different employees to ascertain whether or not they were in agreement with the company's policies regarding overtime. Twice, the personnel manager met with 6 employees to learn if they agreed with the company's overtime policies. Now let's move to the second exercise. Here we have long phrases. I want you to change them to only one word. The phrases are, at this point in time with regard to, in the first place, due to the fact that, make revisions, take into consideration, with the exception of, make an adjustment of. Now pause the video and please make your own words. And these are my answers. And that's all for today's video, in which we covered conciseness and clarity. I hope you find it useful. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel to watch all my new videos.